Hi, I'm Margaret Lewin and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. A couple weeks back I showed you how my husband helped me to organize my thread drawer. And so far so good, it's working out. Now what we've done is temporary. At some point I do want to take these out and I want to cover these with pretty fabric. And I want to put pretty fabric on the bottom so that when I open the drawer it looks really nice. But for right now, this is how I have it set up. I have all of my Aurifil threads here. Then I have a couple of extra bobbins, one of my marking tools, and then more thread. Here are my little bobbin holders. I currently own a Bernina 790 Plus, and I love it. The bobbins are substantially bigger, so I needed to come up with something different to hold my bobbins on. What I was doing them on my old machine was these little things, which are, I think they're called bobinis, but they really are nice. I like them. But now that I've moved to a different machine, I needed a different way to do it. So I'm now using these. And this is what they look like. They just very easily set into the top. Now I know Aurifil has where you can take off your bottom and put your thread in there and all that, but I like this better. I think it's easier. So I keep my extra ones of these. Then I have dental floss in this one. And I use dental floss whenever I go about gathering something. It works out great. And then just some odds and ends threads that are different weights. Back here, it's extremely difficult to get into, so I just have odds and ends back there. Well, so far this is working, so I decided it was time to make another one. So I have just finished emptying out my drawer that was for my Bernina feet. And this is where I store the bulk of the feet for my sewing machine. So what I did was I went to the local Dollar General and I picked up a large sheet of poster board, just real cheap. It was a couple bucks a sheet. And so far I've done 2 drawers out of it and I know I'm going to be able to get at least 2 more, if not more. So I took 2 pieces. I measured from the front all the way to the back, way back there, of my drawer. Then I measured from here to here. So the width and the length. I took 2 strips and I cut them. These are 1.5 inches wide by 20.5 inches long. I'm just gonna slide this one in here and it doesn't fit real tight. I don't think it's gonna stand, well, yep, it'll stand up on its own. So I made 2 of those. There we go. Let's see if that one will stand on its own. Doesn't, well, somewhat. Then I made 3 pieces that were 2.5 inches tall by the width of the drawer. And I think the width of the drawer was like 11.5 inches. I took my ruler and I marked at 4 1/8. And the reason why I marked at 4 1/8 is because I want my little Bernina boxes that hold my specialty feet in it to fit in the drawer. One of the things I will tell you is that my drawers were not evenly spaced. So if you take a look at what I've got going on here, you can see I have 2 marks in like this, 2 there, and then 1 here. They don't line up perfectly. So make sure that however you do them, you line them right up straight, because otherwise what's going to happen is it's not going to fit in there. So once I've done that, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it together. I just took a razor blade, and I cut 1 line, and then I just went over, maybe it's 1/8 of an inch, and I cut another one and then just cut out that small piece so that I created this opening so that, I wonder how well, yeah. So I created an opening so that I could fit the 2 pieces together. So I'm just gonna take this one. I'm gonna start by starting it here and then starting it here. Now I'm gonna grab one of my boxes so that I can line it up. Make sure that I've got enough room in there to get my hand in and take it out, and then I'm just gonna press this down. All right, time for my next one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my next one on, but when I do this next one, I'm gonna take it as far back as I can, because these drawers, as nice as these cabinets are, the drawers do not open all the way. In fact, they open far from all the way. So this back area really tends to be wasted space. I'm just gonna kind of push this back as far as I can. Okay, so that's back. And now I'm gonna put my very last one in. And here goes my very last one. And now look, I have created, for just a couple of bucks, a spot where I can store my specialty feet, and I've got a couple spots left over. In this one, this is my Bernina ruffler. I'm gonna stick that right in there because I do like using that. You know what? I'm gonna switch it out with my number 32 foot. All right. Then what I have beyond that is I have a bunch of my feet that I have had with my first Bernina machine, and I still have them. So I'm going to set those here because I'm very rarely going to be using these. I may still want like my Teflon ones for working with plastics, but for the most part, I'm gonna stick these back here. Then I have my guides, my little teeny tiny screwdriver. Those are gonna go back here, along with the additional pieces for my walking foot. Here's my number 5 foot. And then I've got a replacement for my bobbin holder. And then in this last spot right here, I'm going to stick some really important things. This is the screwdriver that I need for whenever I do anything on my machine, my oil, and then specialty needles. Now my next drawer down, I keep my needles, or 2 drawers down, and I'll show you how I'm gonna organize that one later on. But I wanna keep my specialty needles away right now from my other needles, only because these aren't all nicely organized yet. The needles aren't. And I just want them close at hand. So then I'm gonna just take my specialty needles and I'm going to put those right here next to my oil and my screwdriver. And now my drawer is all nicely organized instead of everything flipping all over the place. Now I do have room back here for more stuff, but I obviously have a difficult, I'm gonna move this closer because it doesn't need to be quite so big. I have a difficult time getting into it because of this. So what I think I might do is, if I go to put something back there, I think what I'm gonna do is just make a diagonal line so that I can get back in there. Maybe cut a V in here because I need the stability to keep these up, but yet at the same time, it's very difficult to get into that back drawer. So this is how I have temporarily organized my Bernina feet drawer to see how it works out. Now, if it works out great, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up making one of these that's all covered with cloth and looks all pretty. But in the meantime, this is a great way for me to figure out if this organization works for me right now at the stage I'm at without spending a ton of money. So I hope you enjoyed today's quick little video on how I organize my Bernina feet. If you have any questions at all, please do leave them below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye, everybody.